right, so for our third episode of Kaplan Kitchen, we have decided to do a Kaplan family recipe. When I got engaged to Jonathan, Nana, Karen Kaplan, and his Aunt Susie were so kind, and they created this recipe book filled with Kaplan family recipes. And the recipe I probably use the most is the Kaplan family chicken soup. It's so good, so good. And it's called Grammy's Chicken Soup. All right, so the first step in this recipe, the recipe actually calls for quartered pullets from the Kosher butcher. That's not really an option these days right now. So I just bought some Bell & Evans whole chickens at the grocery store. And usually in regular times, the butcher is usually so kind, and I just asked them if they could skin the chickens for me, and they're like, of course. And I come back 15 minutes later and they're all skinned. But I didn't want to bother anyone, so I got them as is. So the first job for us is to skin the whole chickens. You didn't get that, did you?
I did.
So the worst, I'll stop being negative, I'm sorry. I do kind of hate dealing with raw chicken. It is disgusting. But here we are. What are you gonna do?
Skin the chicken.
You wanna separate the skin from the chicken. And there's little places, it's so gross. I don't even know if we wanna show this in the video because it's disgusting.
I can pixelate it if you want.
If you get a whole chicken, you should always check the inside, because sometimes they'll put like the liver and other parts inside of it. This one does not have anything in it. Does yours?
I don't know.
Nope, neither of them do. All right, when you have your chickens skinned, I'm gonna leave mine whole. You can quarter them if you want, but I'm just gonna leave mine whole. This is a soup sock.
Not sponsored.
So Nana and Aunt Susie, I think they drain their soup at the very end, which is great. I did it that way for many years, but then I started using these soup socks, and what I do is I put the chicken and the vegetables into the soup socks before I cook them, and that way they all stay together while cooked, and I don't actually have to strain it like I used to have to strain it when you don't use a soup sock. So if you don't have a soup sock, you just throw everything in the pot, and then you'll maybe drain the broth at the end. But me, I'm just gonna throw them in the soup sock so that I don't have to drain it at the end. So I'm gonna put that into our pot.
Are you getting this?
Yep. That is so
Ooh, she's big.
All right, let's put this cutie pie into the soup sock. Again, you don't have to use a soup sock. You can totally make this without it. I just happen to like using them now. This is a double recipe, by the way. You can have it and just do one chicken, and then that'll serve 5. This recipe, we're doubling it, so it'll serve 10. Because if you're gonna make it, you might as well make a lot, right? So you have leftover, you can always freeze it.
Okay, so now you're gonna add 24 cups of water to the 2 chickens in the pot.
Now we're gonna boil this. You can't skip this step.
No.
Because then the chicken would be
I
raw.
don't think this joke is dead.
All right, so we're gonna bring only the chicken up to a boil, and then
Also you're gonna bring the water to the boil, but only with the chicken in it.
we're gonna bring the water up to a boil with the chicken in it. Is that better? You like
Yeah,
that?
if you bring the chicken up to boil, that's probably like really, really high temperature.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's completely correct. I stand corrected. So when it comes to a boil, there's gonna be this foam that happens, which is gross, and we're gonna scrape that off.
Okay, so it's vegetable time now. So you're gonna get 6 carrots, 6 pieces of celery, 4 parsnips, 4 onions, some dill, and you're gonna peel the carrots and parsnips, and you're gonna chop, and you're gonna wash the celery.
Because we're not peeling it. I want to show off my new knife skills. You're going to want to cut off the tops and bottoms because they're a little bit gross. And then you can cut them as big or as small as you like. I like them in small, bite-sized pieces.
Parsnips are yummy. I don't know if you've ever had them before.
They're almost sweet.
They're super sweet after they're cooked, not when they're raw. But They're probably my favorite.
Chicken noodle soup is my favorite food.
Okay, so what you're gonna do with the onions is you're gonna chop off either end, cut them in half. Whoa. Peel them. And then just chop them into fourths. So you're only gonna cut it in half one more time, just like Mom's doing right now. Okay, so once you have all your onions fourthed, you're gonna chop up your carrots and your parsnips. And you know, no size too big, like maybe this looks good. And then for the parsnips, like that's good. That's good, maybe a little smaller for some. And when it gets thicker, you know, maybe want to cut it in half. This is what I like to do when I make this soup all the time.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even smaller, you know, bite-sized pieces.
Bite-sized, like big chunks I like them as.
This is your soup. Make it how you want it. And now, it's the second annual. Can Ryan catch things in his mouth? Nope. It's like you're like dodging them. This isn't dodgeball, this is catchball.
Maybe it's your aim, Ben. Oh.
It's not my aim.
All right, so when your vegetables are all chopped up, I'm going to put it into its own soup stock. So we're adding celery.
But soups are not.
Again, soup stocks are optional. You can just toss it into the water once the not ready. All right, it's time to just check on how our chicken's doing. Okay. So as the water starts to boil, it develops this gross little foam. I don't know why, and I kind of don't want to know why. So you just want to skim off as much of the fat or foam or whatever the heck this gross stuff is. Take it out.
And this is good to put like on lattes, like that's actually what it is. Go on like orange juice.
Raw chicken foam. What?
Cooper want a carrot?
He couldn't catch it either. Go get it, bud. He got his carrot. He's just bringing them over there.
That's his carrot spot.
Cooper, do you want more?
Yes, he does.
All right, so we've filled our third soup stock with the celery, onion, parsnips, carrots, and a bunch of dill. And then we're just gonna tie that at the top.
And at this point, you could use this to play a good old game of vegetable. Vegetable.
Vegetable. Never heard.
It's
I was gonna
similar to basketball, but it's, you know, played with this, and you're
Does
not
that
allowed
bounce?
to dribble. No.
Pass it.
Open.
No, that will no. All right, so before we add the vegetables, which we've gotten our there, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of salt, kosher salt. So that's 1. Okay, so then we're just gonna add this to the water, and it's very crowded in there, so it might take some.
You're gonna burst the.
I know, the soup stock.
You just did.
I'm good. No, I didn't. Oh, did that do that?
I did.
Oh my god, I'm the worst.
Okay.
My bad.
Don't use a tablespoon either. Maybe use like a kitchen
Wooden spoon.
It's
That's fine.
One. Yay! Go! Whoa!
cute.
All
And
right.
so that's part 1 of making the chicken soup. And now this is just gonna simmer for 2 hours. We're gonna be eating dinner like at 9 o'clock tonight.
Transition.
It's been 2 hours since we saw you last.
So here we go. Here's our simmering soup. That's it could even be a little bit less boiling than that, but it's all good. It's all good. So now what we do is we're gonna remove the chicken and the vegetables from our broth. So I just set up, I've got my lovely Kaplan burnt bowl. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks for burning our bowl, Ryan. I'm just gonna let it drain for a minute.
It's like you're fishing. Chicken of the soup.
If you do it with your upstage hand, it doesn't block your face. Theater. Chicken number 1.
Chicken number 1.
Chicken number 2.
It's pea. That's pea. It's chicken.
No, it's not.
Chickens can't pee. That is true.
That is true. Do you want to learn about chicken pee and poop. All right, that's for another day. This is a food show, we don't need to. All right, and here comes out the veggies.
With the holes in the back with the...
Yep, I made those holes in the soup stock by accident. The parsnips are...
That step is optional.
So I'm just gonna let this stuff drain in the colander, and then I'm gonna, if anything drains further, I'll dump it back in. But look how clear and clean this broth is. So if you make your soup without your soup stocks, which is totally fine, definitely an option, then you would still remove the chicken and the vegetables, but it would just be a little bit trickier because everything would be loose. So you might like strain it through a colander and then through a strainer to get it to be get the broth to be so clean as mine is right from the get-go, thanks to the soup stocks.
Maureen's broth, the cleanest broth in town.
Whoa! Oh no, it's spilling.
No. You get to clean it up now.
Mom, look how much you did compared to how much I did.
It's a good thing it was me and not one of my kids, right? Am I right, boys?
Oh, you're right, Mom.
Because when I am the man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This step is optional.
This step is completely optional.
You really
don't
can't.
do this.
You can't skip this step. All right, we're gonna salt the water for our egg noodles. All right, and then the chicken. We're just gonna lay out on our cutting board. Well, that's not very appetizing looking, is it?
It's not.
You can just remove all the meat from the bones. Fishbone, it's gonna burn your fingers maybe.
Nope.
Okay, go ahead, Ben.
I wish it doesn't burn my fingers. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
I won.
Winner, winner.
I haven't won
Winner, winner, chicken
ever.
dinner. Hey!
Whoa! Eat it now, right?
get
And that's
the
how.
chicken- No, you don't.
No, the loser eats it.
Okay. Are you still recording? So you want to take the meat out, but get rid of the bones. Bones.
Do
Bones.
you have to film this all?
Bones.
No, I'm not gonna film this.
Hey guys, Kaplan Kitchen. Fun fact: I had a dad. And he's gonna pour the noodles in for us.
Jonathan's
For all
gonna-
you weirdos that eat gluten.
I was just gonna
Yeah, he's
say, he
gluten-free.
doesn't eat gluten.
Crap.
Oh, goodness.
Get out of our kitchen.
No damage was done.
It's alright.
You start with your finger, is that how it works?
Like your whole hand really does the trick better, but yeah. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Nice job, Jonathan.
No, upstage hand.
High
I keep it in motion or they stick together.
Okay, so what you gotta do is you just gotta make sure you stir the noodles pretty often so they don't stick together.
I said that.
Oh, I suck at wishbones.
five. Okay, we got the chicken all cut up. The veggies are ready. And the noodles are ready. So now we'll assemble. We assemble it per bowl. It's really important. I keep my broth separate from all the ingredients because I don't like the broth to get
Soggy.
soggy.
Or you don't want them to get soggy.
I don't like the word broth. Just
What?
saying.
Jonathan's heating up his rice instead of noodles.
Yeah, if you want to go gluten-free, white rice.
It's assembly time, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a little bit of chicken,
We like the dark meat and the white meat. It's all yummy.
It's all yummy.
Is that enough for you? You want
That's
more?
good.
So my kids sort of like to fish out the specific celery and carrots and parsnip that they like. Dill, throw some extra dill in there. Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. Good?
Yeah.
More?
And then next?
then noodles, which is probably your favorite part.
It's my favorite
I know it's
part.
Ryan's favorite part. So we'll give you a heaping.
Thank you. And pour yourself a heaping ladle. Of broth.
Maybe even 2.
Maybe
or
even
3.
I think it's gonna be a 3 ladle.
Wow.
Yeah?
2.5. No, I'll do 3. 2.5. This is your assembled chicken noodle soup. It's really yummy.
And thank you to Aunt Susie and Karen Kaplan who passed this recipe down to me. And my mother-in-law Karen got this recipe from her mother-in-law. So it's kind of nice that it's
Mother-in-law
chicken
noodle soup.
stew.
It's good stuff.
Hey, hope you really liked the video. If you did, please like it, share, and subscribe. It would really help me out if you subscribe because I'm getting closer and closer to being able to monetize my videos.
He's serious. He wants you to subscribe to his YouTube channel. I thought he was kidding at first, but no, he really does.
Yeah, that would help me out so I can start making money off these videos. That'd be great. If you made it, please share us pictures and videos and
let us know how it goes.
Let us know. We love hearing from you guys. It helps us stay connected.
Yeah,
feel connected to everyone.
Love hearing if you made something from our videos before it. We miss you guys, so hearing back from you really means a lot to us, so thank you. And enjoy it, hope you love it. It's really good. So thank you again to my awesome mother-in-law and Aunt Susie for sharing this recipe with me.
Hope you enjoyed.